Roundup is far from the only weed killer that's caused a stir among medical professionals. Another popular herbicide called Paraquat has been called the deadliest weed killer on the planet. Yet, it's still being sold on the shelves. I have Alex Taylor, who's after these folks to try to hold them responsible for what they've done. Alex, I mean the headline, 3 drops of Paraquat will kill you, okay? Inhalation will cause Parkinson's disease. Talk about it.
Absolutely. And that's no joke. If you were to take just a couple drops, put them in your mouth, and then spit them right back out,
you're dead.
That would be enough exposure to kill you.
Yeah.
What they've learned over the last several years is that even if you wear full PPE while you're using this, which is what you're required to do by the EPA, you actually have to have a license
protection.
To do it. Yeah.
Full body protection.
Yeah, I think all those videos you saw when COVID started happening, it looks just like that.
Yeah.
If you wear all of that protection, but you use this on a daily basis in your work, you have more than double the risk of getting Parkinson's.
Okay. If you're an applicator, you're working on a golf course, all right? You're using this stuff all the time. You're seeing films where applicators aren't wearing the full outfit. So you're assuming, well, it can't be that bad. Well, you got to read the warning. Well, really? This is a guy, he's been in this business forever. The warnings, are this big, and the threat is massive. The potential to cause Parkinson's disease is over the top. What are the health issues? Is it just Parkinson's disease? Which is, I don't mean that, what an awful disease. Yeah. But is it only Parkinson's disease?
Oh, no. If you have long-term exposure to this, it can cause potential lung damage, kidney damage, liver damage. This drug is toxic to every part of the body. Anywhere you get it, there is a serious risk. Obviously, Parkinson's is probably the scariest because of the long-term health benefits. You're talking about, long-term, you may end up in a wheelchair, you may end up with dementia. The long-term health risks are, just terrible of the long-term exposure.
Okay, the easy question here. I know the answer because I've dealt with corporations like this for so long. How long did these folks that make Paraquat know about the dangers and didn't tell anybody?
At least going back to the 1990s, and possibly even further back than that. They've always known about the toxicity, but as early as 1990, they were aware that they could change the formulation to make this chemical safer, make it less toxic. There was a whistleblower that released a lot of documents about this that basically shows that they knew about it, there were options to make it safer, and they didn't because they were afraid it was going to affect their bottom line.
So there's not even an age issue. A lot of times Parkinson's develops later in life. We're seeing people that are 40 years old that are developing Parkinson's disease. The only reason they're doing that, there's nothing hereditary, there's no other exposure. The only thing causing the Parkinson's disease, which will kill them, a slow, ugly death.
Absolutely.
The only relationship is Paraquat. Now, the company that sells this has seen that play out time and time again over the years. Scientific data said, yes, Paraquat causes Parkinson's disease. But still, we can buy it in the United States. Other countries, the country where it's produced has taken it off the market. It's banned.
Yeah, it's banned in the EU since 2007. It's even banned in China and Brazil now. There's hardly any country that doesn't ban this, except the EPA still hasn't gotten around to it.
Yeah, and the EPA, of course, as we've talked about before on this show, this is kind of your specialty, is going after these corporations for this kind of conduct. The EPA is completely owned and operated by the chemical industry. That's the big problem. We want to believe something different. But if you look at the history on this, when we see the documents are going to show well below the 90s. We're talking about 70s and maybe even earlier, this connection that they saw neurological disease related to this herbicide. And they could draw no other conclusion. It's related, right?
Absolutely. The science has been around for decades and decades that this drug or this chemical, once it gets into your system, it oxidizes just about every part of your body, including parts of your brain where the neurons deposit dopamine, which is what leads to this Parkinson's risk.
Yeah, and you're one of the specialists handling it. Good luck with it. Okay, it's going to be a big fight, as you know.
You bet. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you for joining me.